Breaking news from the stadium tonight as an anonymous fan foot the bill for 55,000 hot dogs, bringing that sweet tubed meat to everyone in attendance.
Free dogs! Yeah!
55,000 hot dogs? What does that even cost?
While the identity of this Frankfurter philanthropist remains anonymous, their all-beefy generosity will go down in history.
The new Mega Millions. More to win means more to give. How you spend it is up to you. Yeah!
For game odds and details, visit sceducationlottery.com.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into something that, wow, sent shockwaves through the basketball world.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, it just blew up our search queries.
Yeah.
The Tyrese Haliburton Achilles injury.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like everyone instantly had questions. You know, what happened to Tyrese Haliburton? Urgent stuff like, is Haliburton playing Game 7?
Right, that immediate panic almost.
Exactly. So we pulled from a stack of sources, mostly that torrent of news trends and those specific questions people were firing off.
Yeah.
We wanted to understand why this resonated so deeply. Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here is why an Achilles tendon tear is often seen as, well, maybe the most devastating injury in basketball.
Right.
Especially for a guard like Haliburton on a team like the Indiana Pacers. For those maybe not as familiar, the Achilles tendon, it's the body's largest tendon, connects your calf muscles to your heel.
Crucial.
Absolutely crucial for everything explosive in basketball, jumping, sprinting, just, changing direction on a dime. So a torn Achilles, like the searches showed, means that tendon has, completely ruptured. It severs that critical link, which is why it's not just, say, a multi-month recovery. For many players, it's genuinely career-altering, very different from like a knee sprain or something less severe.
And that immediate public reaction, those searches, it instantly framed our mission for this deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just looking at what happened specifically with Haliburton's Achilles, but why it caused such a ripple effect.
Yeah.
From the Pacers' immediate games right through to these broader league conversations.
Yeah.
And what's clear is how quickly it connected to the wider NBA world. We saw names like Damian Lillard, LeBron James, Klay Thompson, even Victor Oladipo popping up in search.
But the comparisons start immediately.
People are instantly looking for that context, Plus, figures like Adam Silver, the commissioner, and Shams Charania, they become sort of central figures for getting updates.
Absolutely. And for Haliburton specifically, his game relies so heavily on that elite quickness, right? That stop-and-go burst, his playmaking off the dribble.
Everything.
Yeah, this injury hits right at the foundation of his whole offensive game. It's not just an injury. It's an injury to his core athletic identity, really.
That's the kind of news that just makes you wince, isn't it? You see Achilles next to a player's name, and your heart just sinks if you're a fan.
It really does.
And you mentioned the immediate questions about the playoffs. So looking at the Pacers games without Haliburton right after this happened, what was the tangible impact? What did you see?
Oh, the impact was stark. Immediately. We saw their offensive rating drop significantly. Their assist numbers just plummeted.
Makes sense.
Haliburton's their main facilitator,
Yeah.
right? And their pace, which is kind of their whole identity, it just slowed right down. He dictates everything for them offensively.
So his absence forces others into roles they're not used to.
Exactly. Role players get pushed into spots they aren't fully equipped for. It totally changes their tactics, makes them way more predictable for opponents.
Okay. And what about those comparisons people were searching for? You mentioned Lillard, LeBron, but also Klay Thompson and Oladipo. What does that tell us about how fans process these moments?
That's a really crucial point, actually, because it reveals something interesting about sort of fan psychology. People are looking for hope, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Lillard and James, they represent resilience, guys who came back strong, maybe defied the odds a bit. But the deeper, perhaps unintentionally more relevant comparisons might be with Thompson and Oladipo.
Why them specifically?
Well, their Achilles recoveries were much longer and arguably significantly impacted their explosiveness, their overall game, particularly that ability to create off the dribble. So this tells us a lot about the spectrum of outcomes fans are kind of grappling with, and maybe where the truer parallel might lie for Haliburton's long-term future, though obviously everyone hopes for the best.
Yeah, that's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
Stepping back a bit, beyond just Haliburton and the Pacers, how does an injury like this magnitude to a rising star on a team that was, ascending, how does that shift the broader league landscape? Does it raise bigger questions?
Well, immediately, yeah, it shifts the Eastern Conference picture, for sure. Teams that were maybe on the bubble, borderline contenders, they might suddenly see a clear path to, say, higher seeding.
Right.
But it also, I think, raises deeper questions about player load management across the league. The increasing intensity, maybe, of the NBA season.
The grind.
The grind, exactly. And, the long-term financial implications for teams investing hundreds of millions in players who are, at the end of the day, vulnerable to these kinds of debilitating injuries. It forces a bit of a strategic rethink.
So what does this all mean, then? We've seen just how critical this Tyrese Haliburton Achilles injury is. It's massive for his career, obviously, but also for the Indiana Pacers' their championship aspirations. It really just underscores how fast one event, one moment, can completely reshape expectations for a team for a whole season. Turns those dreams of, winning it all into immediate questions about recovery times and what the roster looks like next year.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights the inherent fragility, I think, of a team's NBA Finals window.
Yeah.
That finite period where everything aligns, the talent, the cap space, star player health, it has to be perfect. Injuries like this show the immense resilience needed, not just from the players themselves, but from the whole organization.
Sure.
Understanding these moments, I think, enriches our appreciation for the unpredictable drama of the NBA. It reminds you that even the best laid plans can just change in an instant.
So think about it. How deeply are a team's fortunes really tied to the health of just one or two key players? And what does this constant, almost precarious battle against injury tell us about, human limits in elite sports?
Yeah.
It really is a testament to both the incredible power and, the fragility of the human body in competition.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.